I've been your wife for 3 years now, Victor, and you've never once truly touched me, Sophia said, her voice barely above a whisper. The sadness in her eyes was impossible to miss. I won't stop you from chasing after your first love. Starting tomorrow, you can go to her freely. But just for tonight, please make it up to me for all the years I loved you. Her words hung in the air like a final goodbye. Then, without waiting for a reply, Sophia leaned down and kissed the man she had loved for most of her life. Her lips trembled against his, filled with years of longing, hurt, and silent prayers. The kiss wasn't just about desire, it was her farewell. Desperate and trembling, it carried the pain of being invisible for far too long. She knew it was wrong, but she had waited, she had endured, and for one night, she just wanted to feel like his wife. Victor Tillman's eyes flew open, and fury sparked across his face. "Sophia, how dare you?" he growled, his jaw locked, eyes flashing with rage as if her touch had insulted him. But even as he glared at her, something shifted deep inside. Her soft skin, the scent of her shampoo, the tremble in her breath, it all caught him off guard. He wanted to shove her away, to remind her she meant nothing to him, but his body betrayed him. How could she trap me like this? He thought, bitter and confused. Tears spilled down Sophia's cheeks as she kissed him harder, hands unsure but full of emotion as they moved across his chest. She had never touched him like this before, never dared. But tonight, she reached for him. For once, she wanted to be the woman he desired, even if it was only pretend. Victor's control shattered. All the walls he had built around himself cracked. His anger melted into something darker, hotter. The desire he had buried deep came rushing to the surface like fire against gasoline. And just like that, everything spiraled. Before the sun had risen, Sophia opened her eyes. The room was still. Her body ached, the echoes of the night still clinging to her. Quietly, she slipped out of bed, her heart heavy, her soul drained. She reached into her bag and pulled out a folder, a clean, emotionless stack of papers. Divorce papers. Her fingers trembled as she placed them on the nightstand beside Victor. She stood still, staring at him. The man she had loved since she was a girl. The man who had never once loved her back. "Victor, I'm letting you go," she whispered. Her voice cracked, but she kept her head high. "From today on, we're strangers." Then, without a backward glance, she turned and walked out of the Tillman mansion, and out of his life. Sophia had loved Victor Tillman for 7 long years. She fell for him as a teenager, admired him from afar, carried that love through college, and had been overjoyed when she became his wife. It had been her biggest dream. But the dream had been one-sided from the very start. Victor hadn't married her out of love. His grandfather had fallen critically ill and wanted to see Victor married before he passed. Sophia had been chosen by her greedy father and cruel stepmother, who saw it as a way to elevate their social status. Young and naive, Sophia had believed it might become something real. But on the wedding day, Victor's eyes had been cold. His words were even more frigid. "I will only ever love Laura Harper," he said flatly. "You were never my choice. You're not good enough to be my wife." Sophia's heart had shattered at that moment, but still, she didn't give up. She spent the next 3 years trying to win his love. She made his favorite meals, stayed up waiting when he worked late, and cared for him when he was sick. In the winter, she warmed his clothes before he got dressed so he wouldn't feel the cold. She gave him her all. But it was never enough. 2 nights ago, on her birthday, Sophia had waited with a small cake and candles. She hoped, foolishly, that maybe he'd remember. But he didn't come home. He was with Laura at the hospital, holding her hand. That night, Sophia finally accepted the truth. She had never been enough for him, and she never would be. So she made her choice. She gave him one last night, and then she walked away. Victor didn't wake up until 10 in the morning. The light streamed through the curtains, but the storm brewing inside him was darker than ever. The moment he opened his eyes, the memories of the night before came crashing back. He sat up sharply, fists clenching the sheets. What the hell happened? How could she do this to me? Victor Tillman, CEO of Tillman Group. Sharp, strategic, feared. A man known for spotting lies, betrayal, and weakness. But this time, he had been the fool. His eyes scanned the room. She was gone. His heart thudded in his chest as he reached for the paper on the nightstand. Divorce agreement. His name, her signature. He stared at it for a long moment, trying to understand what he was seeing. His chest tightened. Was this a trick? Another game? Some twisted tactic to get his attention? Victor jumped out of bed, fury burning beneath his skin. He stormed downstairs, each step louder than the last. "Sean!" he bellowed. The butler came rushing in. "Yes, sir?" "Where is Sophia?" Victor's voice was dangerously low. Sean hesitated. "Mrs. Tillman left early this morning. She had her suitcase." Victor's expression changed. He stopped cold. For a brief second, just a second, shock flickered in his eyes. And something else. Regret? He didn't say a word, but it was real. She had left. And this time, she wasn't coming back. 6 years later, at the QR Medical Research Institute, the fluorescent lights buzzed softly as Sophia stepped out of her lab. Her body felt like it was made of bricks, weighed down by exhaustion. Her eyes burned from hours of microscope work, and her shoulders ached from sitting too long. Just then, her assistant, Vina, appeared in the hallway. "Dr. Miller, Professor Alessandro wants to see you," she said gently. Sophia blinked, snapping out of her haze. "Did he say why?" Vina bit back a smile. "Not really, but your little rascals might have gotten into his office again. He looked a little gray." Despite her exhaustion, a small laugh escaped Sophia's lips. "They're going to give me wrinkles before I turn 40. 6 years ago, Sophia had left everything behind. Her marriage, her country, her pain. She went abroad, determined to start over. Her plan was simple: study hard, forget Victor Tillman, and build a life she could be proud of. But fate had its own plans. Shortly after she left, she found out she was pregnant. Her first reaction was fear. She was alone, heartbroken, and scared. There was a moment, just one, where she thought about giving up the pregnancy. But then she heard their heartbeats. Triplets. 2 boys, 1 girl. Her whole world shifted. She was going to be a mother. But life struck her again. Complications during childbirth took her baby girl away. Only her sons, Jaden and Jamie, survived. They became her reason to live. Every sleepless night, every hard-earned degree, every moment of loneliness, she bore it for them. And now her boys were full of life and mischief. They lit up every room they entered.